Hello everybody and welcome to my countdown ranked video of all the Star Wars films. It's kind of weird how I did this. Basically everything I did a review over is what's going to be classified in this countdown. So every movie that came out, every theatrical movie, so the original trilogy, prequel trilogy, sequel trilogy, Rogue One, Solo, Star Wars Story, and I also put The Mandalorian in there just because I did a review on it, so it's also in there. I'm starting from the bottom going to the top of my favorite. I am totally biased. I'm not gonna go, oh, remember, this is my opinion, because that is obvious. If you disagree, please yell at me down in the comments and tell me why I'm wrong and my existence should be shunned. Like I said, I already did reviews on all these. You can go check that playlist. I maybe put in the description. I don't know if I feel like it. But I'm basically, as I go through this, I'll give like a quick little review of what I thought of the movie and why it's there, why it's better or worse than other movies. So yeah, let's just get on to that, and I guess transition to the last place, I guess.
Number 11, The Phantom Menace. So, the Phantom Menace was, when I was younger, I actually saw this movie in theaters, believe it or not, but I remember thinking that it was the best one, and I can see why I thought it was the best one when I was younger. Only because really the only parts that you remember are, like, the ending battle, which was really well choreographed, and I really liked the ending, like, the last, I guess, act? I don't know if you'd call it an act, but the last little bit was probably the best part of the movie. Definitely was the best part of the movie. The pod racing is not as bad as everyone says it is. It does go on for kind of long, but it's not that bad. It's kind of entertaining, actually. Everybody says it sucks. The CG in this movie is obviously really bad. The Jar Jar Binks was way worse than I remember. This movie, the best way to describe this movie is really boring. Like, and a lot of Star Wars fans still don't know what the plot is. I think I know it. I think the Jedi have to protect the queen, so then they get I still don't know it. I still don't know what is happening half the time. So obviously the movie's it's not even like a I don't know if I want to say it's not a bad movie, but it's extremely boring. Just watch the end of it. Like, it's just so boring. It's such a slog to get through. I don't know why I thought this was my favorite. You're gonna see a theme with these with the lower entries, like number 10. Attack of the Clones. I literally forgot the name of it for a second there. Well, the reason why is because a lot of these movies, they're not bad. Okay, Star Wars is kind of like Marvel. They don't really make bad films. They just make boring ones. Which, to be fair, a boring film is quite possibly worse than a bad one, because at least a bad one you remember it, but with boring film, yeah, you know what? These are bad because they're boring. Attack of the Clones, the only thing I can remember about it is the awkward love between Anakin and Padme, and then I think it's Battle on Geonosis. Is it the one where they're all in the ring? You know, and that's like literally the only thing I remember about this movie. Oh, I will say that the best part is on is it Coruscant? I don't know. The whole thing with Obi-Wan Kenobi's little side quest deal that he ends up fighting Jango Fett. That was really interesting. I liked that. So I like what the prequels did, where they had basically each movie had their own villain. The first one being Darth Maul, second being Count Dooku, the third one kind of being General Grievous. But Count Dooku is very boring. Like, I can't other than his name, there's nothing I remember about him. Like, the actor's fine, it's just they didn't really give him much to work with. And like I said, these movies are just boring. There's nothing I can really say about them. There's nothing to talk about. I can't remember anything else that happened in this movie, other than politics.
Begun.
Return of the Jedi, third verse, same as the first. It's boring. I feel like nothing happens in this movie. Like, it's so slow compared to even the New Hope, which was kind of a slog, but it still felt like stuff was happening all the time. But this movie, it feels like nothing is happening, and that at the very end, everything happens. I swear that the rebels get into that one little base on the Endor like 3 times. They get in, they get kicked out. They get in, they get kicked out. They get in, they get kicked out. I swear to God, it happens 3 times. I lost track of how many times it happened. I lost track. How do I lose track of that? But anyways, I can confidently say that probably the only interesting part about this movie, the Jabba stuff was kind of stupid, but it was interesting to watch. It was fun to see these characters like actually interact like people, like when they're on the ship, and then Luke's like, I was born here or used to live here, and Han Solo's like, you're gonna die here. A lot of people think that Han Solo should have died in the last movie, which I need to make a whole video about that, but I don't think he should have. I just think they should have done more with him here. Han Solo did feel like he was just kind of there because of he had to be there. I don't think they should have killed him, but who cares? But like I said, this movie's just boring. I barely even remember the final fight. The final fight. Like, how? All I remember is just them fighting. It wasn't that interesting at all. And it kept getting mixed in with all the stuff with them on the Ewok planet, which was dumb. The Ewoks are fine. A lot of people hate the Ewoks. I don't. This movie felt like nothing happened. It's like, it just felt pointless. So weird. It felt like an awful ending. Seriously, geez.
Not bad for a little furball.
Rogue One is the best short film I've ever seen. Jeez, what can I say about Rogue One? Rogue One, it makes no sense. Honestly, the only thing that put this movie higher than, like, Return of the Jedi was that ending. And the ending is just spectacular. Seriously, if you're a Star Wars fan, don't watch the whole movie. Just watch the ending part, because that is literally one of the best pieces of Star Wars media ever. Like, that little... If that was a short film, like they gave it the same budget and had that be a short film, and then put that, just that, in like some film festival or something, or on DVD, literally this would probably be like number 4 or 5, maybe even 3, because it was so good. It was so interesting seeing this, and it felt like an actual war. The point of Rogue One, I guess, was to make it feel like a wartime movie, but in the Star Wars universe, which is pretty clever when you think about it. That's pretty smart, because there are a lot of Star Wars. But they really dropped the ball on it because they try to make it about the characters that I cannot remember anybody's name at all. And apparently we're even getting a Disney Plus series about one of them, which is insane. Why would you do that? The characters are just so boring. Literally everything that happens before the final act it feels like it has nothing to do with the final act, honestly. Like, just watch the final act. You don't need context. My God, it's just such a boring, nonsensical film. And like, the dude is like, go on without me. I don't even know your name, dude. Am I supposed to be feeling something in the scene? I don't know. Like I said, if you want to watch Rogue One, just watch the final act. It's so good, but the rest of the movie just bogs it down. Rise of Skywalker, you son of a bitch. So, I don't like my review which I did over the film. I honestly probably should just make a whole new review of it, because that review was just bad. I tried to avoid the whole new movie stuff. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I don't like it when people are hating on Star Wars just for the sake of hating on it. Originally, I was going to have this section just be a whole new review on itself, but I realized this is a countdown. Y'all guys just skip it, so I'm not going to do that. I will say that there are parts of this movie that are really good. There are parts of this movie that are really, really bad. But overall, the negatives do ever so slightly outweigh the positives. But the positives are so nice. Oh my God. The last bit with all the Jedi coming together, that was really nice. The final kiss made no sense. That was really weird. Like I said, I always got kind of a brother-sister vibe from them. That was very bad. The story was kind of set up weird. I don't think Finn and Poe should have been gay just for the sake of them being gay. I know that was a big deal with it. The movie just feels like it didn't know how to end it. The biggest problem, and everybody can unanimously agree on this, was that there was no plan. You can have no plan for like the first movie and then a bit of the second movie, but the second movie should start setting up the end game. That's kind of what Empire Strikes Back did. Not well, but that's almost like if Infinity War had no setup for Endgame. You know? It's like, that's literally the best way to describe it. If Infinity War ended like a perfect ending, like Infinity War ended how Endgame ended, but then they had to make an Endgame. It's like, you just can't. So that's why this movie failed, because there was no direction. They wanted to appease Star Wars fans, but also not anger them. This is just a really want to say safe, but it's not. There's a lot of points in the movie that just don't make sense, that are dumb. Rey's whole journey is just weird. Rey just feels like a very weird character in this movie. She was really good in the past 2 movies, but she just gets bogged down. I don't know. This movie, in these countdowns, I never give enough talk about the movies, but I gotta say, if you will, I don't even know if I can say you'll enjoy it as a Star Wars fan. This movie's just all over the place. I don't know. It's on the list.
With you.
Always.
Last Jedi fan alert. Yep, no, I really do like The Last Jedi. Now we're past Rise of Skywalker. Now we're into the stuff. Literally, the level of love and appreciation I have for the Star Wars fans between Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi are extremely far apart. Like, you have no idea. I love this movie so much for what it had a good idea of what it wanted to do, and it was getting there, but literally there's always that one thing that just bogs it down, and it's the stupid casino thing. Everybody agrees the casino thing is stupid, and I'm gonna go on a rage about the stupid kiss. Why does that put Star Wars in trying to force love? In every movie, Finn has had a different love interest. First it was kind of Rey. I don't really agree with that. I think he saw her more as a sister too. First it was Rey, then it was this, I don't even know her name. What's her name? Belle? Is it Belle? I don't know. This lady, I don't care if the actress is upset or something, but she's a fine actress, but what they give her is god-awful. She didn't need to be in this movie at all. And other people are like upset that they pushed her aside in the Rise of Skywalker because nobody liked her, but I'm happy they did because I hate her. I hate her character. I don't even hate what they did with her. I just hate that she's annoying. She's one of those stupid feminist preachy, animals need to be protected. Shut up. That's the biggest thing that bogs this movie down. The final act is amazing. The whole Red Room scene, that's fantastic. That's the big thing about Star Wars. There's always scenes that just almost make you want to love the movie. Like The Phantom Menace. That last scene was so good, it almost tricks you into thinking the movie's good. That's kind of what Rise of Skywalker did. But on to The Last Jedi. I really like what they did with Luke. I'm going to be doing a video much later in the future about, like, rewriting the Star Wars movies. And I don't think Luke should have died. I think how they handled it was perfect. Okay, there's a lot more they could have done. They could have went fully overboard with this stupid Luke dying. But how they did it here was really nice. What they did forwarding Kylo Ren as, he's a villain, but he's kind of on his own terms. And I like that. I don't like that he's a villain just to be a villain, like Darth Vader was. Darth Vader was really just bad because he had to be. Kylo Ren, because of this movie, feels like he's bad because of his goals. Feels like a Marvel kind of villain. Ooh. So yeah, I really like this movie. Like I said, the gap of enjoyment between Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi are far.
Show me my place in all this.
Oopsie daisies, I'm gonna say it. I only like this movie because of respect and nostalgia. Honestly, this movie's a very boring slog. Unlike other Star Wars films, it feels like stuff is actually happening all the time. It feels like there's an actual adventure going on. With other movies, they don't really feel like adventures. They just feel like points on a list. Like, this has to happen because of this happens because of this. This one really felt like there was gonna be a good beginning, middle, end. I think George Lucas meant to do that. And I really respect this movie for what it did for films and just for what it created out of everything. So like I said, I only like this movie because of respect and nostalgia. But like I said, it does have one thing over every other Star Wars movie, and the fact that it actually feels like an adventure. Like there's a beginning, like I said, like there's a beginning, middle, end. Other movies obviously don't really feel like this. The other one I can think of is The Force Awakens, which I'll get to that later. But it's just really nice. This movie, like I said, it feels like a real adventure. Like there's actually stuff happening, and the little character moments between the characters feel so much almost better than other films, you know. And I really like how the whole gang's all here. We never really saw that again until kind of Return of the Jedi, but even then, I don't know. Like I said, it's not a very good movie. It's really slow, really boring, honestly. It really does feel like a movie from the 70s, but I love and respect it, so that's why it's here.
May the Force be with you in Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I bet most of y'all forgot about this movie, and now seeing it at number 4, you're like, what is this guy smoking? Han Solo is an extreme guilty pleasure of mine. It's such a good film, guys. The actor who plays Han Solo literally feels like Han Solo if he was younger. He's like, not as smart as he becomes in the later movies, but he's also still cocky and just, it's literally Han Solo if he was a bit younger, and I love it. All the actors are really good. The double twist at the end was kind of weird, but I get where I was going. I love how this feels like a different genre. This feels like, I don't know, like a plot twisty movie. It doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie, and for most people that's kind of a turn-off because they were promised a Star Wars movie out of this movie, but with it not feeling like a Star Wars movie, it kind of has its own identity, being this amazing movie in the Star Wars universe. The mall stuff at the end made no sense. I don't know where that was coming from. Maybe they plan on doing a Solo sequel. Maybe. I don't know. Total guilty pleasure. I get why a lot of people don't like it, and I know why. It's because they don't feel like it's a Star Wars film, and I think that was kind of the point. I don't think they want it to be a Star Wars film. The villain, while a bit one note, is kind of interesting. The guy from Zombieland, I think he's from Zombieland, was also super fun to see Han shoot first and realize that you can't trust anybody. Him meeting Chewie, all the action set pieces were so much fun. This movie's so good. Go and watch it. Regarded as the best Star Wars film to a lot of Star Wars fans, Empire Strikes Back. I can say that Hoth was fun. The side stuff with Solo and the gang was fun. And Luke stuff was fun. Everything in this movie was fun. This is probably... yeah, this movie, I don't really see any flaws with it per se. It is it's definitely slower than the next two, the top two on the list, which is probably why it's down. I really do like this film, though. Honestly, I was kind of worried I was going to hate it, because I'm the kind of guy to, not on purpose, but by accident, hate things that everybody else loves. And I hate myself for it. So I was really expecting to go into this movie and not like it. But I'm happy that I came out and liked it. Even though I knew it was going to happen, the scene where he reveals that he's his father is just so impactful. The fight that they go through before then is just, oof, you really feel it. Mark Hamill's such a good actor. And then all of Cloud City was fun. This movie, the best way to describe this movie is fun. Just, if you're not a Star Wars fan, but you're wanting to get into Star Wars, I recommend watching this movie. It's hard to say which movie I'd say that most to, but A New Hope is really slow and boring, and I can see people not liking it. If you have a friend who's not into Star Wars, make them watch this. That's the best thing I can say about this movie. It's so good.
Big, new, sprawling space adventure in the Star Wars saga, The Empire Strikes Back.
This is before I get to the top two picks, because, I don't want to leave some suspense for the top one. But this is kind of like a 4.5, between Solo and A New Hope. I'd put The Mandalorian. I did a review on it, so I'm putting it here. This show was very interesting to watch. I like how every episode felt like a short film, rather than something on ABC. I think of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when I think of stuff like that, or the CW, where it just feels like a boring, slow episode. But no, this show really kept with the pace, and I really like it. That and Baby Yoda is cute. So let's get on to the top two. Ooh, I bet after seeing The Mandalorian show up on here, you're going to think this was number 1. Oh, no, sir. But The Force Awakens. After rewatching this movie, I loved it so much more. Like I was talking about The New Hope, this is the only other film to feel like an adventure. The ending kind of ruins that aspect of it, since they obviously set up a sequel. But who cares? This movie is so much fun. Seeing the old characters come back, seeing Han Solo back in action with Chewbacca was so much fun. And being introduced to the new villain. This movie has such a different feel from any other sequel movie. It honestly, even when I first watched it, I had this feeling that it felt like a Star Wars movie in HD. You know how I feel? No, kind of like Splatoon 2 feels like a new game and looks like a new game, but still feels like an old game at the same time. I don't know how to describe it. This movie, just how it's shot, how it's done, it's so much fun. Oh my god. This, like I said, it feels like an HD new movie, like an HD redeluxe of A New Hope. A lot of people give it flack for basically being the same plot of New Hope, which actually it's pretty different. I'm not going to go into every little detail, but it's different enough to be fun, but similar enough to also be rememberable, like nostalgic for it almost in a way. But man, it's the new character, and this has the best character chemistry out of any of the sequel films. Just the little stuff that they do. Yeah, people get annoyed with the whole Marvel quips and whatever, but they're fun here. They're little character moments. Stop complaining. This is a really good movie, okay? This is another one of those movies that if you don't know Star Wars, watch it. I'd still say Empire Strikes Back, but if you want a more action-packed one, watch this one. Let's get on to number 1, which I know you already know, but yeah. Oh yeah, I'm about to get some hate in the comments for this one. Based on nostalgia alone, this is my list, so y'all can suck it. Revenge of the Sith is my favorite Star Wars film. For, like I said, nostalgia alone. I don't care. This movie is fun to watch. Yes, the politics are kind of weird. Oh my god, I just love the ending with Yoda, and the General Grievous stuff is fun. Everything in this movie is so much fun. I could talk for hours about everything in this film. Literally what I was gonna do instead of talking about the film was just recite the lines of the I have the high you know, I don't make me have to kill you, old man, and all that stuff. I was gonna just recite that from memory. Literally anybody in my generation could probably tell you that this is the best film, but an older generation could be like, you're retarded, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. This movie is so bad. And I almost love that everybody else, that like actual Star Wars fans hate it, because it makes me loving it just feel all the sweeter. I know I didn't talk about it as much, but just know that this movie is so much fun. I can't really explain why I love it. Like I said, mainly nostalgia, but the action scenes are fun. The whole... everybody's such a good actor. I mean, not really, but they are. I love this film. I love it so much.
You were the chosen one!
Well, that was my countdown list of all the Star Wars films. I almost said MCU. So, there's a problem I have with these films, not films, with these lists, even my MCU ranking. I don't really get into why I love the films a lot, which is the core thing you need to explain of why it's at that spot. I mainly just say, well, it was boring, or wow, I love this movie. But please know that I thought long and hard about each film and why I was placed there. There will be like some little things that just put it over the edge. Like I said, there's a huge gap. There's a huge gap between Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi of my love for a film. If in the comments tell me your rankings. I know every little shill bag of a YouTuber says I read my comments and I want to see your opinion, but really it's just to get more user involvement, so then it gets recommended in more videos. But honestly, I want to see what you guys think. I want to hear what you guys think about my my listing. I'm gonna do a whole reading comments video on it if I get enough comments. So comment down below, make your own list on YouTube, post it in the comments so more people watch it. I don't care. Thank you guys for watching. If you didn't like the list, I mean like the way I did things, please tell me. This was a fun video to make. It's been a long time coming. I know I keep on promising it. So anytime I do a review series on something, I always count it down. Like I said, I could do a lot more work to improve these videos. I really need to get into why I like them, but I never like to make the list too long. But enough talking. Time to stop talking. I need a script. Thank you guys for watching. That almost rhymed. Video over.